Hey guys, this is GamerCal. Welcome to Toho Puppet Dance Performance Shard of Dreams. This is the expansion. It's really early days into this because I've only just finished the post-game, so I do have all of my puppets and whatnot, which is great, but there's stuff that you obviously only get in this game because they weren't in the base game, so you do still need to do a little bit of grinding. You do need money as well, and well, this is the take one on how to grind in the post game, and I actually feel like it may be even quicker than it was in the base game because of the way everything works here. So we are, as you may have caught at the start of the video, we are at the Sanzu River. It's this house here in particular is not unlocked until you actually enter post game as a whole. And that is because of who is in here. So when you go into the house, it's the Nightmare Hut. Should maybe mention as well, this is using the second iteration of the interface translation patch, so we won't be able to talk to anyone and get non-Japanese text out, so do keep that in mind, but it doesn't really detract from the purposes of this video, so that is fine. If you explored in the bamboo forest where there used to be Toihime Yorihime in that little area, you will have come across the moon and how to get there using the butterfly dream pills that you buy from Raisin, and that lets you also go into here. So in post game this unlocks, and there's a little side quest to do here, and you basically end up in another hell, which is the place for Acacia and Junko to show up. So basically they tell you to go up this big old tower thing. There's 3 encounters that you have to do, and then there is Clown Piece at the top who's stolen their puppets or something to that extent, and you do that and then you get to here. Junko is your healer in case you want that, although you can still pick up puppets in your party using the box and heal that way, so that's a little bit quicker when you need your SP restored. Acacia doesn't do anything, she just speaks to you, although she has a look, that's kind of a thing. But Clown Piece is the one you want to talk to, so you speak to Clown Piece, and basically there are 2 modes that this tower can be in. There's a level 70 mode or there's a level 95 mode. You want to get it onto the level 95 mode here. So you talk to her, you say yes, she goes all, yeah, lunatic mode, let's go, and she buffs it up. If you speak to her again, then you can debuff it, and she's like, coward, probably, something like that. I don't actually know what she's saying, but she's like, whatever, we'll turn it down, and you can hear the debuff sound there. So yeah, that's how that works. You want it set to 95. Now, I'm going to do 2 rounds of this, one showing just a basic how-to, and then the next showing how to get a little bit more experience out of it. So I don't need to level any of these characters up, but it'll be a good demonstration because I only have like 4 other puppets I need to level at the moment. The character you need here is Extra Reimu. Now, this doesn't have to be level 100, but I tested at level 98 when I first got in there, and it was still perfectly fine. So, somewhere around about there. She needs to have the green mark because otherwise she gets outsped by Remilia. Speed Remilia has technically got a higher base speed, so I imagine you get outsped if you have a red emblem, so make sure you've got a green one. You don't need the red one for power anyway, so that's fine. All S rank. It's probably just S rank in focus attack and speed and the major ones you need here. But the defensive ones are handy as well, so if in case you are going to take a silver rain here, because you can survive, but it's not too great. You can see the investment, the stat investment there is max speed and focus attack. That's one of the nice things about the expansion. You get to see that sort of thing. And the ability doesn't matter. It's entirely irrelevant to this because you'll never be hit by status. You don't need the power anyway, so that's fine. The held item actually doesn't matter. If you are at level 98 at the very least, you can one-shot everything in this first fight anyway. And that's pretty much all you need. So Layla's Amulet has actually changed from what it was in the base game, because in the base game it used to just be the cleanse tag, cuts wild encounters down a bit. that got shifted to a different item. Now Layla's amulet is basically the amulet coin. If you were to get any items at the end of a fight for selling, then Layla's amulet doubles the number of items that you get. And this is really, really good here. You get 12 items instead of 6 for this stuff here. And the items you get range from crappy pearls all the way up to magic crystals and magical fragments. So you definitely want that to buff that. A moveset, relatively simple. Each of these attacks is used to get super effective hits in the fight. Flying Frenzy hits two types super effective, Remilia and Sagume. Distortion Bomb hits Yuugi and Konngarra. High Tone Crush hits Yukari, and Flower of Hell hits Shinki. So, simple enough setup. And the really nice thing about this is that you can go into the tower, you can actually choose who you fight. You can just ignore the first character here and just fight the second one if you want, or the third one, whichever. But we're just going to focus on the first character here, because as soon as you leave this place, you pretty much just reset the place and you can go again instantly. So you talk to her, get the fight going. Has a unique design to this area. All 3 of the fairies in here have a unique design, so that's kind of cool. So, yeah, you pretty much just one-shot everything, just like you would with Power Ire in the base game, except it's even quicker because there's no multi-hit animations here. I would obviously recommend turning the animations off when you do this yourself, but I'm just having them on to demonstrate the attacks a bit more fluidly. So, yep. Sagume comes in, Flying Frenzy works really well because she's 4 times weak to that, being Poison and Sound. Yuugi was Wind and Steel, which is 4 times weak to Warped. Konngarra, I'm pretty sure, yeah, Konngarra is still Fire and Steel in the speed form. It's a power form that's Fire and Fighting, that wouldn't, no, Fire Fighting, Fighting Steel, that wouldn't work for this setup. You could use Sound, but I don't think it would kill because it's not stab. But the point is, Distortion Bomb hits Steel super effective, Warped is good against Steel, is not resisted by Fire, unlike Fairy in the main games, so that's fine. And then Remilia comes in, you have to hit her with Flying Frenzy. You can hit her with High Tone Crush, but it doesn't get the kill without a boosting item, so just Dark and Fighting, just use Flying Frenzy. Yukari is Illusion and Warped, which is 4 times weak to Sound, so knock her out with that. And then the last one to come in is a Speed Shinki, who is 4 times weak to Illusion. So, very simple setup. Everything dies in 1 hit, everything gets outsped. You don't need a held item, and it's all perfectly great. So you win, and you can see there's a whole bunch of experience there. All of these need style changes because I haven't done that bit yet. But you can see down in the Got Item section, Vintage Wine times 12. Vintage Wine sells for 5,000, it's one of the better items you can get here, so that's quite nice. And, you know, 12 of them is basically the same as getting 6 magic crystals in the first game. So that's pretty good. And then if you want to redo the fight, you simply go out, come back in, and if you talk to her, then you can start the fight again. But well, I did mention there was a slightly better way of getting experience on certain puppets, and it is a little bit slower. Also, this is how you heal, by the way. If we go to info now, then yeah, we have maxed out. Unlike the base game, where just going into the puppet box is enough to heal, now you actually have to interact with the puppet in there as well. So do keep that in mind. But if we go ahead and shift all of these, I probably should have moved them a little bit better, but it's okay. If we go ahead and shift all of these characters in, then we will have a demonstration as to how better to set this up. We'll just move Reimu to the end just to make things easier. So we're going to sacrifice these two during the fight, because they don't have experience boosting items. I think there is supposed to be a Hakura amulet or something of that kind that works a little bit like Native Grace, maybe better than Native Grace, but I haven't encountered it yet. That's probably during the human tournament. I haven't done anything for that yet. So for now, we're using the same items that we had in the base game. So essentially what we're going to do is we're going to switch in these characters because they have experience boosting items. Then we're going to immediately switch out and sacrifice these two. Now, Yugi can't actually kill Reimu from what I've seen. She has Shooting Press, she has Macro Burst, and she has Silver Rain. Of those, only Silver Rain actually hurts you because Wind and Warped is immune to Earth and Earth and Wind. And then Silver Rain is a steel attack that hits you for neutral damage, but you survive with about 15% health left on average. So Reimu will be our last switch in. If she does get hit, it's not gonna kill. There are ways that it could kill, so you may want to be a little bit more careful with stuff, but yeah, that's the thing. We're actually going to put Seiren in first, because we can bait Yugi into using Shooting Press with Eren here. So, if you're using a puppet that is weak to one of those types, particularly Earth and Wind, then send that in as your last one here, and you'll be able to bait the attack out. So we go back in, like I said, we can just redo the fight instantly, so if you don't want to bother switching your puppets around, you can just go out and come in until you run out of Flying Frenzy. And yeah, essentially we're just going to switch in the two with the Wooden Sword here. The Wooden Sword doesn't really matter too much here. It doubles the amount of PP you get if you're still alive by the end of the fight, but it doesn't matter that we're sacrificing them. They really aren't going to lose out on anything here. That double PP doesn't actually make a difference, so that's fine. So we're going to put Doremi in. So essentially, by switching these puppets in, even though it does take a bit more time, you are getting them twice as much experience as they would get normally. And experience scales by level in this game, so you'll see when we end this fight that Seiren and Doremi will get so much more experience than Eren does. It's kind of like what Gen 5 introduced, I think, for Pokemon experience. So we'll put in Ringo, Ringo will die, and then we send in Eren, switch out to Reimu, and continue to fight as we did before. So the only real catches to this is if you switch in to Reimu on a Silver Rain and she gets crit, then you die. Or if she gets a special attack buff or spread attack buff from Silver Rain, like a 10% chance when she's attacking other puppets, that kind of hurts. But other than that, which is stuff you can play around, there you go. So we bait the Shooting Press because Eren is 4 times weak to that, and now we get in for free and we just do what we did last time. So one thing to note with this now, unlike the base game where the puppets are, switched in exactly the same order every single time, as you can see here, they are not switched in the same order every time you go in. So you do need to pay a little bit more attention than you used to. You do need to make sure that you switch in appropriately, or switch your attacks appropriately, and yeah. So it's not quite as easy to switch off as it was in the previous game. There is actually a method that Shane was pioneering for battling the third fairy in this place that uses Power Run, and that one you basically can switch off on. But you need a held item for that. You need the Morganite, so you can't actually use Layla's Amulet with that, so you get less money for doing it. This is the most consistent method that I've looked at in the space of about half a day. So, but I feel like this is maybe not quite as good as it gets, but basically as good as it gets because of how quick it is to repeat this. So I'm not really too fussed about looking for more stuff here. So you can see the two puppets that we got killed, they still got a good amount of experience off of that. 52,000, almost 53,000, that's perfectly fine. Eren still got quite a lot, but nowhere near as much as she obviously would have if she was lower level, because she's closer to them. Still quite a bit. Native Grace really helps out with that. And Doremi and Seiren just get all kinds of experience off of this. Actually, no, Eren's got the Combat Handbook, so she would have gotten more if I had other stuff. But Seiren is demonstrating pretty much the maximum experience you can get in one go here. This only works if you're at level 1, but it's still useful to do even when you're at higher levels. So, yeah. 211,000 experience in one match is kind of insane. It even got Sagume up to like level 56 or something in one go. So that's just one fight, and then you can come out, go back in, repeat the process. When you run out of moves on Reimu, just go to either Junko or go to the box and pick her up, and you heal her off. So you can just keep going in. It's really quick, it's very, very efficient, and honestly I don't think we're really going to find too much of a better thing for this to level up your puppets. So yeah, go for it, get your extra Reimu set up, and just hammer face until you've trained up everything you want to train. So this has been GamerCow demonstrating a grinding method in Touhou Puppet Dance Performance Shard of Dreams, and until next time, take care.